become back like my 18-year-old self. And I wanted to live this type of lifestyle. I wanted to make a lot of money. Yeah, so if you're 12, you obviously have the time advantage on yourself.
Welcome back to a brand new episode on the Young Empire podcast. Today we have Simon Choucroun as our guest speaker. I mean, Simon's killing it, 24 years old, making millions on his new company, Hey Social. Simon, welcome to the podcast. It's an honor having you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for connecting with me.
Oh, absolutely, man. And give us a little background. I mean, how did you start? Where are you right now? And kind of what you're doing in the with Hey Social and how you're looking to grow that at the moment.
Yeah, so a bit of backstory. I started very early in 2017 doing e-com dropshipping. And that was like in my dorm room, pretty much like pretty broke, just kind of buy like stupid stuff from Zara and just different clothing brands because I just really wanted clothes. And honestly, I found out about Shopify, right? And from that day on, like we could go into details later, but from that day on, like the online world, everything from like making money online to agency space to e-com was just like super like eye-opener for me. And right now we're building like the TikTok agency, which is Hey Social. So we connect creators with e-commerce brands. And it's going really well, so I can't complain about that.
That's amazing, man. And tell us more about like how you started off and everything.
Okay, so yeah, I'll dive into it. So basically, I was in my Ottawa dorm room, and I just wanted to buy clothes. That was like the main thing. And I remember opening my bank account, and I had about like $20. And I asked my mom for some money, and she's like, no, do good, get good grades, and then like we could talk about it. And obviously someone who's like very impulsive, I didn't want to wait that much, right? So what I did, I started researching online how to make money online, and there's one thing that came up was Shopify. And I started researching Shopify. I had a roommate back in the day that had a lot of Instagram pages. So I don't know if you remember the Instagram meme pages back then, the luxury pages, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so he had a lot of pages, and basically I asked him, hey, do you know anything about Shopify? And he said, yeah, I know some people that are actually like making some really good money off it and everything. Like, why don't you try it? Like, he kind of pushed me. He's like, go on AliExpress, look for like a product, and just like speak to the supplier and try to make a website and launch it, right? Basically, that's what I did. I was looking for AliExpress the first night. I found nothing of interest. That night, I scrolled through Instagram, and I was following this guy on Instagram that posted a luxury picture of these iPhone cases. And from that night, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, let me see if those are actually on AliExpress, right? I go on AliExpress, mind you, they're there, and I'm like, this is the product that's really gonna make me money. I speak to the supplier, we speak on WeChat, we're like texting back and forth. I agree for him to send me samples because I had no money, right? I had $20. So
wow.
Yeah, so he sends me samples. I look at them, everything looks great. I take some pictures with it. My roommate at the time had a Rolex, and I took some pictures with that Rolex with the phone case. And he proposed, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take that picture and I'm gonna just put it on my luxury Instagram pages and my meme pages. We'll see if you get sales. He posts them. I go to bed. I wake up. I open my Shopify dashboard. There's $700.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, like $700. I'm like,
just one night, huh?
One night. I wake up. One night, $700. He also had a pretty big network. There's like about 11 or 15 million followers of like across different pages. But still, for 700, I wake up $700. Right away, comes to me and he's like, bro, we're 50-50 in this. I knew nothing about it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We're 50-50. And then from that day on, Shopify was just like my main focus. Jumping out of school, fighting with parents to drop out and everything. And yeah, from there on, Shopify was the game.
And how old were you?
I was 20.
Wow. And how much money? Because I remember we spoke about this in the past, and I just love the fact that there's people out there and they're like, you know what, I need money, I need resources, I need connections to start off. But you made, if I'm right on this, you made over 6 figures from your dorm room in college at 20 years old.
Yeah. So I was 21. And from February all the way to April, so about a full 90 days, it was 250 grand of sales.
In your dorm room?
In my dorm room, yeah. Straight
wow.
to my dorm.
Wow. That's just crazy to me.
That was my first venture, my first eye-opener for online money.
And in your first venture, you never started anything else, just immediately?
I never really dabbled in anything else. Like in terms of like entrepreneurship, it was mostly that. Like I had like things like back in high school, I used to sell G-Shocks and everything. Maybe that's like a bit of like the spirit reference point, but I never dabbled in it. I was in that time actually in the first like few years in my of university. I was very focused in stock trading. Because like Wolf of Wall Street had just come out, right? And everyone wanted to be a trader. Now I really focused on that, right? So I didn't even know about Shopify or anything. It was mostly like this was my first real venture, my first real business. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's incredible, man. And how did you progress after doing that from your dorm room? Did you go ahead and drop out of college, or what did you do after that?
Yeah, so I dropped out of college. I got kicked out of all my programs from college. I was in finance, and they kicked me out for a bad GPA, and they put me in arts. And while I was in arts, I'm like, okay, obviously arts is not going to get me anywhere.
Yeah, fuck arts. Wow. And you were doing that through Facebook marketing?
I was doing that through Facebook ads and just Instagram like shoutouts.
Okay, I got it. So influencer marketing and Facebook ads mostly. Was this brand as successful as the last one or not really?
This brand made about 60-70K in the first month with a 30% margin-ish, which is not the best, but like it was reasonable for that time.
I got it. That's crazy, man. And after that, did you continue in e-commerce, or is that when you decided to start Hey Social?
Yeah, so after that summer, there was big arguments for me to finish school, right? From immigrant parents and everything. They really wanted me to finish my degree. I had like a few classes left, right? So after that summer, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't know. There's like this like you kind of want to please your parents, right? At the same time, because you want to finish school, but you kind of know that it's also not the right time. I don't know if like, you get what I mean.
No, I do.
So like in September, I went back to school for that semester. I really dialed in, so I didn't focus on college or anything. I really dialed into my studies, and I was in arts, mind you, right? Well, arts economics, which is like a program in arts. And after that semester, I really tried. I really dialed in. I was like doing like my courses. I was trying to like get good grades. But after that semester, they still like my GPA was still. I was still on probation from the semester above when I like completely dropped everything. And they actually kicked me out of economics as well because my GPA was low.
Wow. What was your GPA?
And well, in Canada, it's on 10, and it was like a 2. But if like I have to average it for like American, it was like probably a 1. Probably a 1.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
And you were studying arts.
Yeah, I was studying arts. Like there was like a lot of
And
there's like
your parents still wanted you to study arts. Like, I mean, at that point, I think if you're in finance, maybe it's actually worth completing just to have the degree in hand. But if you're studying arts, I mean, at that point, what's the point, you know?
I don't know. I think it was just that piece of paper, right? It was mostly just like, for that piece of paper.
I got you. And that, I mean, that's society nowadays. People just think, okay, I need to finish high school and then I need to go to college and I need to get a degree. Even, it doesn't really matter what my degree's in, but I just need a degree. And that's how people think nowadays.
Yeah, this is my take on it, and I think I told you this when I was in San Diego. My take is finish high school for sure, right? Because you're still young, you don't know what to do. For university, go to university just to network. So if you want to spend like for the first year networking, meeting girls, doing your social game, doing like your social life, that's what I would use university for. I wouldn't actually use university to like, mind you, if like you can't afford university, especially in the States, don't do it. But if you can, or like you have a scholarship or your parents are willing to pay for it, I would go just for the social aspect of it, because you could meet people in university that will build your network for the future.
Just like you. I mean, if you think about it, you're the person that you lived in your dorm room is what allowed you to make $250,000 from your dorm room in college.
Exactly. If I would have never went to college, I would have never met him probably.
Exactly. So you think going to college is important for the network, but not necessarily actually finishing your studies?
Well, yeah, 100%. There's no ROI on your studies.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I hope my parents aren't listening, but like I 100% agree from that standpoint. I mean, I think especially for a lot of people that I know out there, it is important for them to go to university. It is important for them to meet people and network and get out of their comfort zone more than anything. But if you're just going and you're not talking to anyone and you're just going to class and back and you're trying to keep your GPA up, I don't think people realize that that's never going to make you special. That's never going to make you the money or achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. I mean, if your goal is to become a veterinarian or become a doctor, then that's cool, stay in school. But if your goal is to be special and achieve goals that aren't as regular or as regular in today's society, let's say, then it really isn't worth it just to go to school just to figure out what to do with your life after school. At that point, it's important to go to school and actually meet people, go to networking events, and at least that's my take on it.
I don't know if you remember this, but Gary Vee said it really perfectly. He was talking to a mother, and the mother asked, "Hey, I'm gonna send my kid to college, like for him to experience, right? For him to experience."
I've seen that video.
Yeah, and Gary Vee's like, "You want him to experience? Throw a backpack on him and throw him in Europe." Right?
100% better. Not only is it 10% of the price, but he will probably learn quadruple what he would have learned in school, even if he's networking in school.
Yeah, experiences, responsibilities of just being alone, like meeting people, being socially interacting with people.
Exactly.
That quote was really good from Gary Vee.
And do you think that society is fixing itself in a way where people are starting to open up their eyes and be like, maybe it's not worth it to go to school, or maybe, going to school won't make me successful? Because I'm starting to see a lot more people out there right now realizing that if I go to school, get a degree, and get a job, that's not going to help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve for myself or my family.
Yeah, 100%. But I still think that it's really not easy to be an entrepreneur, to start your own venture, to start your own business, right? So it's like something that has to be within you, right? So it's not something that just everyone could do.
100%. No, 100%. And I want to hear more about like how you started Hey Social. How did that journey begin? So I understand that you have around 2 other partners, including Michael and Lucien, which I've had the opportunity to meet both of them very well, and I have a very good connection with both of them. Very great people, by the way. And how did you get the chance? How do you get the idea, or how did you progress towards actually building Hey Social and focusing on it for years to come?
Yeah, so when I finished that semester of like that, they kicked me out of economics. After that semester in January, I went to Toronto, and I was there with my brother, and I was there also with some friends that I had met through like this networking event that I went to, like this Gary V event in Toronto. And I get there, right? And I'm talking to like these 2 agency founders, and they're telling me how much money they could make with their agency, what they're doing. Back then, they were, I think, scaling chiropractors or yoga spas and stuff. And I'm looking at Lucien, and I know that I still want to do something in e-com, right? But I still want to I want to work with my brother this time. I want someone that I could trust, right?
Absolutely.
And
just like Andrew Tate, huh?
Andrew Tate. Well, yeah, we'll get back to that actually. I have comments for that after. But basically, I wanted to be with someone that I could trust, right? And I know that I could trust my brother. And my brother has always been way better than me in communicating with people, in networking and everything. And I used to be the guy behind the computer screen, right? Like running the ads, like talking to China, stuff like that. And Lucien, after that Toronto trip, on the way back home, 6-hour drive, I'm talking to my brother, and I'm like, look, I really want to build this agency, but like I want someone that has like a bit more experience in like Facebook ads than me, or someone that could bring something else to the table other than just like us two. Because like me and you, we're brothers, but it's also good to have someone else, because like brothers, you know, like twins could really go at it, right?
Yeah. So, you guys are twins, correct?
Yeah, we're twins. I'm just 2 minutes older. Literally, and we're fraternal, so not identical. And Lucien goes up to me. He's like, you know what? I actually know someone named Michael. Michael at the time was working in a call center with Lucien, and he was running his own dropshipping stores. And I said, you know what? Let's bring Michael here. Let's talk to him and see like what comes out of it. I meet Michael once, perfect, super chill guy. I meet him a second time, a third time. I really like his vibe, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring Michael here. I'm gonna bring Lucien here. We went down to my parents' basement. I went to them, and I said, guys, we're gonna build an agency together. This was like end of 2018. I'm like, guys, we're gonna build an agency together, and like, if you guys are down for this journey, let's do it. If not, like, just like say it, right? They both said, yeah, let's do it. I'm all in. I'm like, okay, perfect. We start like right away. The next few months, we grew the agency to 20K, 15 to 20K a month, helping spas in our area, which was
spas.
Yeah.
And how are you helping spas?
So we just bring in the leads from Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would just bring them. We would like cold call, or Lucien would actually show up to the spas, and he would try to close them. To do like Facebook ads for marketing in that area specifically, for like to bring them more leads, right? And we get to 20K. I said, okay, perfect. It's probably around Christmas time now. And I said, guys, we have an opportunity from one of my friends to move to San Francisco. I'm sure we could build the agency even bigger there, right? They both said, let's get on a plane, let's do it. So that's what I like, that they're very very easygoing, and they're like, they have that fire in them, right, to like do stuff. So January, we moved to San Francisco. We go into like this programming coding school, and we're there with my friends, and then we start helping these software companies do Facebook ads. So all the people in that coding school have like software startups, founders. They were part of, some of them were part of Y Combinators, or like these different incubators. And software people only focus on products, right? And then like these 3 young kids that come around from Canada, and they're very talkative, and they're marketing and sales, and they're like, okay, these people can help me in SaaS and Facebook ads. And that's how we started getting like software companies to like join Hey Social, and we would start like doing marketing for these software companies. So, and they have huge budgets, right? Some of them raise huge amounts of money. So that was like the San Francisco journey, which lasted about like 4 or 5 months. We lived there, and then we just got like the bug of traveling, right? We just did San Francisco. We were still building the agency. We did Denver. We lived there for a bit. We lived in Vegas for a few months, like 4 months. We lived in Miami, and then we just started moving around.
And so San Francisco, and so you were helping software companies there actually run Facebook ads, or doing TikTok back then? Because I know TikTok wasn't that developed.
There was no TikTok. This was 2019. So
oh, really?
Yeah, this was there was only Facebook ads, and we would just run the marketing. We wouldn't do any creatives. We were just really good at ads.
Okay, I got you. So only Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious, from that point when you decided to go ahead and put money and start Hey Social, how much money were you guys sitting on together?
Together in what sense do you mean?
Like how much money were you able to actually invest into starting the new company?
So this is the thing that like I wanted to actually just speak to you about is agency actually doesn't require much capital up front, right? So we really started with like maybe 1,000, 2,000 credit cards, but like the only thing that you really need to invest in at the beginning is to like either get like a VA to like get you leads, right? The softwares to send out, let's say, cold emails or whatever it is, or VAs just to send out cold like IGDMs and stuff like that. So there's not much capital that needs to go into starting an agency. And back then, we didn't really use any prospecting method that like costed like a huge amount of money, right? You said would actually just walk into the stores to these big studios.
And I love how I believe you, because like I've spoken to Lucien, and one thing about Lucien is he's very good at convincing people.
Yeah, he would just walk in, hey guys, marketing, blah, 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 and he would just like talk. Yeah. So this is the thing. Agency does not require much capital. E-com back then required a medium amount of capital, depending of like how you like use your capital to like grow your inventory or into marketing. But that's why a lot of people used to ask me, oh, what's better, e-com or agency, right? I used to get that question a lot, like, oh, what's better, what makes more money, blah, blah, blah. And the answer is, back then, e-com, nowadays probably agency, because e-com nowadays is extremely hard if you can invest a good amount of capital.
Yeah. So you actually, so after you guys moved to San Francisco, what made you want to move out of Montreal? Like, what was telling you, oh, we need to get out of here? Because I think we've spoken on this type of topic before, but what was pushing you, Michael and Lucien, and also like what was your parents thinking about this? Like, you dropped out of school at this point, you weren't actively pursuing anything yet, you were just started the agency. What did your parents think about you dropping out of school and moving, to another country?
Yeah, so dropping out of school was like a big hit for them, because they obviously wanted me to finish my degree. Then moving out of the country was also a big hit. We're twins. We don't have any other siblings, so it's like for them, it's like, oh, what's going on? Like they feel lost. There's no one else in the house, right? So that was also a big hit. But like, what do you want them to say at this point, right? I was like 22, maybe 23. What do you want them to say, right? Like I can't. They're not going to stop me at this point. And another reason why Montreal was not the place for us was I wasn't able to really connect with the people in Montreal. Like I was able to connect with like people in San Francisco, and I had actually a friend from Montreal that actually moved to San Francisco, and that's why I went to San Francisco. He's like, "Oh, you should come here. It's so much better. The amount of people that are entrepreneurs, you could learn so much." And he moved out completely from Montreal, right? And he said the same thing. The caliber of people in Montreal are just into, I don't know, partying and like just like these like low level things, right? And I wanted to meet people. I wanted to build my network so that I was able to like cut the learning curve in my entrepreneurship journey. And that's why I think San Francisco is a great place, right? I think there's a bunch of startup founders, entrepreneurs. There's so much money to be made in San Francisco. But I guess with the last 2 years, with everything that happened, everyone moved to Miami. A lot of them moved to Miami, a lot of founders.
Yeah, no, and I get that 100%. And I mean, let's talk about a little bit about San Francisco. Like, because I've been to San Francisco multiple times. There's a big entrepreneurship. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, but I mean, it's not very clean. It's not a very comfortable place to live. So is that what caused you to kind of leave San Francisco?
No, we just left because there was, we had like that itch to like look for a new place, and my friend had just moved out of this programming school. So actually, when we were in this programming school, there was dorm rooms, and we didn't pay to live there, right? So it was completely free. And if
Really?
completely free,
How is it free?
because it was a school that sponsored coders or programmers to come to the school to learn, to go through like certain levels of programming projects.
Oh, okay.
And the school was, like, if you're chosen for like, to be a student for that school, it was entirely free stay. So my friend that was a programmer in San Francisco had free stay, and he had like a dorm room with like 3 extra bunk beds. It was like a 4 bunk bed thing, like a hostel vibe. And I lived with him, but if he left, then I had to leave, right? And I didn't want to go to LA. I didn't want to go to, I was looking around like in California what was close, but there was like some weird ass like cities like Sacramento. I wasn't going to go to Sacramento or anything, right? And the closest to San Francisco was Vegas, like 7-hour drive.
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at Airbnb, the prices were relatively good, and I'm like, let's do Vegas. I found a nice spot, a nice home, and I'm like, let's do Vegas.
That's amazing, man. So after that, you guys pretty much went to Vegas, and why specifically Vegas? I mean, was there a lot of entrepreneurs down there, or just for the school and program?
It was literally, so Vegas was only good just because it was proximity to still California if we had to go back to like San Francisco for events or stuff like that.
Okay.
Prices were not as expensive as LA.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, Vegas,
Yeah.
nice. And I've never been to Vegas, and I'm like, guys, are you guys down to go to Vegas? And they're like, and Mike said, yeah, let's do it. I found a good spot, and we got it.
So you guys, how long did you guys live there for?
It was 3.5 months in Vegas.
Out of just Airbnbs?
One Airbnb. I took it for 3.5 months.
I got it. Okay. And so at that point, what stage were you guys in for Hey Social?
Yeah, so at that point, we had like a bunch of marketing clients. We were also doing like a lot of outreach to e-com clients, and we landed this very big e-com client. And we became partners in that store because he knew about my past experience in e-commerce. And basically, we're making $50K a month profit at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure in revenue. We're actually making maybe 300 something K, 400K in revenue a month.
A month?
Yeah, and we were holding about
Wow.
50, 65K profit about. And
Wow. And were you guys working with
Yeah.
TikTok creators, or what was it?
TikTok was not even like a thing until like 2021.
Yeah, nobody knew about it. It was there, but like nobody really was on it.
There was Musical.ly back then that I
Oh, Musically, no? Yeah,
or whatever the name is. Yeah.
I kind of remember that one. Yeah. So you guys were pretty much just an agency that works with like separate businesses, pretty much.
Yeah, we're just an agency that had like different like clients in the SaaS world, and we were actually partners in an e-commerce brand. Right? He came to us. He was about 300-ish, not even, maybe $100 to $300 a day on ads, and we got him up like through the whole year of 2019 and half of 2020. We got him up to 15 to 20K in ad spend per day. So there was some days that we were cracking some nice Shopify numbers, like some 60K, some 75K days.
That's amazing, man. So at that point, you guys weren't really like what you guys are today. So that tells me that Hey Social actually shifted in a different direction along the journey. So you guys were mainly like, kind of like Iman Ghazi's business. I don't know if you know him, but you guys were a social media marketing business.
Yeah, Hey Social shifted a lot of different directions. So it started out like the spa agencies, like I told you. Then we were doing like marketing for software companies. Then we were like partners in the e-com store, which was like our main focus at the time because we were just generating a huge amount of sales, and it was like a really fun business. And yeah, like, and now it's like completely different. Hey Social is completely different, right? But in between that,
So what caused you guys to shift in a different direction? I'm actually really
I don't
curious.
know. I think back then there was no clarity maybe of the direction of what we wanted to do as like three founders. We didn't know where we wanted to bring it, and I think we were just following the money, right?
So that tells me something. Like I see a lot, and it really pisses me off when I hear this. I don't know about you, but I see so many entrepreneurs, and this is actually a reason why I'm not a big fan of Gary Vee either. I know we shouted him out earlier today. I like certain things he says, but not everything. A lot of people become entrepreneurs because they want to follow their passion or do what they want and do what makes them happy, and like a lot of entrepreneurs will be like, oh, I only want to do this, and I'm not willing to shift in a different direction because this is what makes me happy. And I don't know about you, but this fucking pisses me off because it's like like how like as an entrepreneur, I don't know about you, I'm actually interested on your point from this, but you need to be able to do what's going to make you some money. You know, sitting there and doing your passion or whatever. Let's say your passion is YouTube, right? And so you're sitting there. Go ahead.
YouTube could make money.
It could,
A lot of people.
but not everybody can make money on YouTube. You need to be able. So like when I see entrepreneurs that say like, oh, this is my passion, so I'm only going to do this, but I am an entrepreneur. And in my vision or my head, because obviously I've had a lot of failures, and I've had to shift in so many directions back and over and over again. So in my vision, you got to do the things that can make you money. You got to do the things that are allowing you to shift in a different direction and actually make money. And I believe when people aren't willing to do that, and they're just actually pretty much just doing whatever makes them happy, they're not able to be successful at the end of the day. And they can do what makes them happy for years, but they never actually end up being where they want to be. I'm kind of curious on your perspective from that point, because it made me think about that when you mentioned that Hey Social had to shift in many different directions. You know, you went from being a social media marketing.
We're talking about the like follow your passion, right? And I think a lot of people get this confused, right? Because usually, like especially me, like sometimes I wake up unmotivated, but I still show up to work to do the things that has to be done, right? So it's like, I think even Andrew Tate had a podcast about him, bringing him back, because he's just like, I think he's like really shaping the boys of our generation into like men. And I think that following your passion does not actually always get you where you want to be. I think everyone has to do things they don't like, right? Especially like people that run businesses. Like at the beginning, I had to do operations, I had to do sales, I had to do like a bunch of things that I did not want to do. You know, I really like to do marketing. I really like to do Instagram, Facebook ads, and like I just really like to do like strategies for that. But did I want to do operations every day to like operate the business and hiring, training? No, but I still did it, right? But I think following the passion could actually get you broke. If we're honest. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I honestly let's talk more about Andrew Tate. I like what's your thoughts on the guy? Like I like his perspective in many ways, but at the same time a lot of the things he says are kind of outrageous. Like I don't know if you've heard him say like, if my girl has OnlyFans, I keep 100% of the money. But we'll talk about women later. I actually also want to hear your perspective on that, because I know dating. I mean, you're 24, correct?
26.
You're 26. I got confused with Michael. So you're 26, and like I'm guessing dating. I mean, I kind of see this from my perspective as well. Being an entrepreneur, chasing your goals and working a lot at this type of age, has a lot of problems with dating and marriage and kind of that type of life as well. But we'll talk about that later. But tell me more about your thoughts on Andrew Tate.
I agree with a lot of the things he says, right? There's some things that are very extreme, like the things that he talks about, like beating, well, I saw a video from the Daily Mail that he was actually hitting a girl, and that actually lost him. Like, I lost a lot of respect for Andrew Tate when I did see that video, because that's just like really, it was really intense. It was like he's like on a bed and he just slaps her. Like, it was just very intense. So those things are like extreme, and I think that like he's extreme in that sense of like he thinks that girls maybe like it rough, and like he's good with being rough with girls. But the things about, like, for example, business, like he talks about the passion, that passion, like following your passion could like almost certainly get you broke, right? It's like I'd rather like stay home, play video games, chill, drink, socialize all day long. But is that gonna make me like a better man? Is that gonna make me more successful? Is that gonna bring me to the next level? Probably not. But it's fun to do, right? Like we all like chilling and just hanging out. So I do like a lot of the things he said, but some of it is extreme, and I don't know if like he's like it's just a facade and it's just like for like TikTok, or it's just for like YouTube or whatever it is, or he's actually very sincere and authentic. So that I still don't know. I don't know how his like characteristic is in real life, because I did see some of his like old vlogs, which was like 2 years ago when he was like not no one, and he would have like these parties in his house in Romania. And he seems very calm. He seems very like chill with girls. He's very respectful and everything. So, and this was like a 1.5 to 2 years ago video. So, like, is it just like a facade that he's showing just to get like the attention? Because like he like took over basically the internet, right? Took over TikTok, took over short, YouTube short. Like they just released, I think it was today with the Loud Boys. So. Just taking over. So,
did you see that podcast?
Yeah, that's how
I watched part of it, and to be honest, at first I didn't really have much respect for the guy. Also, I thought he was kind of like a fraud. I know he definitely, to be honest, he definitely has some association with the mafia, in my opinion, just based on the things he says, 100%. But that's a lot of big people out there to be completely honest. But I saw something, and I actually, I heard a little bit about his webcam business, and I didn't have much respect for that. And obviously, it's a very interesting business, but after kind of hearing what he was doing on the podcast and what he was talking about, how he grew his business and everything, the guy's a fucking genius. He's really a genius. And I was like, wow. Like the way he would make money, and the way he would kind of convince people and kind of just like get older dudes to give him millions of dollars. And you have to have some really, really complicated systems to even like do that in the first place. And I don't know if you've heard, but I also I don't know if you know his strategy with TikTok and Instagram and all that.
His strategy?
Yeah, like how he So not many people know this, and he doesn't like to talk about it either because it's very obvious. But I actually know that the way he grows on social media is very interesting. So he has Hustlers University. He doesn't have any account. People think that he pays other people to create accounts for him and post Hustlers University in the bio, but that's actually not the truth. What the truth is in his course, he offers many different like careers and stuff. I'm not a member of the course. I never will be, to be completely honest. But it's very genius strategy, which I would have never thought of. But his strategy on that is to actually hire. So he in his course he teaches affiliate marketing, and in affiliate marketing he offers people. He says you can become an affiliate marketer for me, free of charge. And he offers everyone to go sign up for an affiliate link. And that affiliate link goes towards Hustlers University. So you find people out there searching for his content who are a part of his course, putting together clips from his content, creating TikTok, Reels. I don't know if you've seen those videos on YouTube where people are like, oh, I've made my first 50K after just being part of Hustlers University. Most of that's BS, let's just be honest. But the way people are actually making money is they make those videos, they post their affiliate link for Hustlers University on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And when they do that, people sign up for the course and they get a little cut whenever anybody signs up for the course, which is genius.
A lot said that this was like more of like an MLM type thing, right? Like kind of like a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Which a little bit of it is, I would say, but it's genius.
Yeah. Podcast of Knock. I don't know if you got to that part, but he said that this is only stage 1 of his 3-phase plan that he has to conquer the internet.
Yeah.
He has to conquer the internet. Stage 1, I think, was the TikTok and like the Hustlers University affiliate. I think step 2 is what he's doing right now with joining the podcast, joining Aiden Ross in the streams, like the Twitch things. There's a lot of Twitch streams now. Part 3, I don't know. Who knows? Like maybe fighting Jake Paul.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, maybe running for president. 2024.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Maybe. You never know. But what do you think about his systems? I just think that's genius with the affiliate marketing and everything.
Seen someone that's so much like I've never seen someone so much like content being spread out everywhere, like on every platform that I go. If I go on Reels, I see him. If I go on TikTok, obviously I see him. If I go on YouTube Shorts, I see him. And I've never seen that. Like just seeing him over and over and over again. It's crazy about like how he literally conquered like this like internet era of TikTok and stuff.
No, absolutely. He conquered social media in general.
But tell me, why don't you agree with the way that he made money with his webcam studio?
It's not that I don't agree with it. I think it's a very smart system. But it's not something necessarily that I would do. Obviously, I actually want to get more into this, but like I don't know really about that stuff. I've never watched porn. I don't do any of those stuff. So I don't really know how that kind of webcam thing is. The only way I know a little bit about it is from this podcast. So in general, I feel like you're kind of taking advantage of men, but at the same time, I have to respect that it's an absolute genius strategy.
Yeah, and it's the men technically paying his own stealing the money from them. It's just like kind of like a manipulative money from them.
Exactly. I just like the fact that he was, I would say, convincing men that the girl would meet him and kind of hook up with him, and then in the end, he would never like have the girls meet him, which makes sense.
Business,
but
right, even if he has these business. Casinos is like very sketchy, it's very mob related, so
it's a sketchy business, that's for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to kill him now. so let's talk more about that. So as a man, an entrepreneur, what's your thoughts on dating? What's your thoughts on dating? What's your chance on what's your thoughts on women? Would you ever consider getting married? Obviously, you're in a position that not many people are ever in. Being so young and having the money you have and the connections that you have and running your businesses. So how do you like set a time every day towards dating, or like how do you manage your dating?
This is what I do. So I used to like really think hard about this question. And I had a girlfriend. So my first girlfriend ever, I was still very young, so like I wasn't doing any business ventures or anything. The second one was about at the age of 24, 25. And I felt like it was a very good relationship. I just felt that it does take a lot of time out, right? It takes time out of like focusing on like yourself, right? It could be fitness, it could be like just like spirituality, focusing on your business as well.
So tell us more, Simon. Like, what's your thoughts on women dating, and kind of like how do you go about that in your position?
Yeah, so I think that it's mostly not about like specifically like dating, or I think all that is like perfectly fine for someone in their 20s. I think what's most guys that don't like actively date or actively are with a girlfriend, I think it's important for people in their 20s to experience this. And by that I mean dating girls, going on dates, stuff like that. I think there should be also time periods. So like if you're actively single for like the whole year and you're like always trying to book dates and like go on Tinder, all that stuff.
So regarding you personally, do you see yourself ever getting married, ever settling down, or do you see yourself kind of...
Yeah, 100% getting married and settling down and everything, but I think that Andrew Tate, once again, says this very well, and I'm experiencing this because like I'm not even living in America or Canada. I think that other countries have better girls in terms of mindset, in terms of like cultural beliefs and stuff, because I feel like Americans and Canadians, in that matter, these girls have a stuck-up attitude. They have a different kind of attitude.
It's right? True. It's true.
Yeah. I'm like living it right now in Colombia, right? Like the dating scene in Colombia is like very good. The girls are very they're very open. Like you could cold approach with no problem. I think Eastern Europe has some of the like hottest girls in the world.
Oh yeah.
I think like all those like Poland, Belarus,
Ukraine,
Romania, Ukraine before the war, Russia. They all have like very, very hot girls like compared to America and like Canada. And I think that like getting a wife there would probably be a better choice than getting a wife.
Not only for looks, but I think they're how do I say this without getting this podcast canceled? They're a lot more shit. They're a lot more supportive, less liberal. Less liberal, more supportive, more concentrated, more money focused, and more concentrated with reality than drama.
And they're like into like a lot of them are into family, right? And a lot of girls in America and stuff are into like career, which is fine. But for like someone who works a lot and everything, I don't want like the household to like crumble with like or just have the nanny there like as a rich, like just like this rich family and the nanny takes care of the kids and she does everything, right? And you never see your kids and everything. I want them to have like that mother figure.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And when do you actually see yourself settling down and like deciding to get married?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an age thing. I think it actually is definitely an age thing. I think around late 30s would be ideal for me. So I was researching a lot about like this like dating and all that, and like a guy actually peaks at like 33, 35. So like us in our 20s, you're not even in your 20s, but like just like guys in their 20s are still like immature, right? And that's why you see people like guys like super successful guys that are like 35, 36, they're dating like the 24-year-old models. Like Leonardo DiCaprio dating like the 22-year-old girl. Drake is like 38, I think, or close to 40. If I'm not mistaken, and he's dating like a 22-year-old TikToker, 21-year-old TikToker, right? So it's like you're also very attractive to like older guys, and especially that like peak for guys is 33, 35. So
I 100% agree. And I'm not gonna lie, I have this conversation with my mom-in-law actually, and
what did she say?
She like obviously like we're Egyptian, so they consider that, oh, you should be getting married at late 20s. But for me, like I'm like I wouldn't even think about marriage until like I'm 33, 34, and then later on I'd consider it if I know the right person. But like I think so many men in this society just destroy their life. They're like, you know what, we need to get married, we need to settle down, have kids, buy a house. Okay, yeah. Welcome to the rat race, you know? Welcome to the rat race, you're stuck. Try to get out. Good luck. Mm-hmm. And it's just what school teaches them. It's what school teaches them.
Yeah, and I have some friends that like 25, they propose, they've been with the same girl for like 6 years since like college, like 18, 19 years old, and now they're 25 and they're going to get settled down. I think that's where like a lot of the divorce happens too, right? I think divorce can happen whether like you marry at 30, at 50, whatever it is, but I think the probabilities of you meeting a girl in your 20s and staying with her for the rest of your life are extremely low. And I think marriage and divorce, I think it's all an odds game, right?
Exactly.
So I think that to have the odds in your favor, you have to do certain things right.
100%. Yes. And so I'm kind of curious. I want to get back on the track about Hey Social, right? So right now, I don't know if you can share numbers on the podcast, but personally, I know a little bit, and I know you guys are doing extremely well. So what's your goals with the company over the next few years, and what's your goals personally, right? Are you looking to get involved in trading, since you obviously I'm guessing you guys are sitting on a lot more cash right now. Are you guys looking to venture more into real estate, trading, investments, crypto, and focus on that more? Or are you guys looking to continue to grow the company until it hits $100 million valuation? I want to hear like more about your future and over not only the next 2 years, but the next 10 as well.
Okay, perfect. So Hey Social, in the next 2 years ish, let's say, we want to bring just the agency level about to $200K a month, right? And we want to bring the to 200K a month, and we also want it to be self-run, like as a cash flow.
Okay.
Appoint a CEO, just get the profits from it and whatnot. Then the next
Profit.
200K a month, no revenue, which is 50%, gives us 100K profit a month.
And you guys want to split that between you, Michael, and Lucien?
No, that's not really no. It's mostly just to keep in Hey Social so that we could leverage that cash to do other projects.
Okay.
Right. So the agency, we want to bring it to about 200K a month in revenue, and then we want to open up a sort of, which is like the phase 2, if you want to call it. We want to open up a sort of consulting / program on how to create this whole content strategy on how to deal with all these TikTok creators for other agencies. So that's more of a consulting / course, if you want to call it, of people to join into. We build it with them. So we build the infrastructure, we build the systems, the operations, we appoint certain positions that need to be appointed. So we want to bring that to about 500K a month. Right? And it's a very leveraged product. So we could obviously sell a lot of it through ads, right? So it could be Facebook ads, whatever, TikTok ads, whatever it is. So we could bring that to 500K. So that brings Hey Social total to 700K a month. Once that happens, I don't know if we had spoken about this in person, but it's to create a sort of look, we're both at WeWork and we love WeWork, right?
Yeah.
But it's to create the same type of environment for creators. So that's the big picture. Plan is opening up creator studios in distinct cities like Miami, New York, LA, and have these creator studios come in, pay a membership, and they could come in, they could work from there, they could shoot their content. There will be guest speakers, TikTokers that made a bunch of money how to monetize their audience. And as well, these creators, a lot of these creators that we currently work with, sometimes they don't actually have nice backgrounds, they don't have luxury environments, right? So providing that to them could make them a lot more money when they work with brands. So that's phase 3, if you want to call it, and that's the 9-figure, $100-200 million valuation.
I love that, and honestly, sign me up. I would love that. I'm personally actually planning to live in San Diego for about 2 more years, and then I'm hoping I can just go to Miami and kind of live and work out of there, and as well as finishing my studies over there. Personally, but why Miami? That's a good question.
Yeah.
So Miami for 3 reasons. Number 1, environment. The environment there is young, it's active, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, nice beaches around, friendly people, nice party scene, and just in general, good women as well. But mainly because there's a lot of events down there, and there's an opportunity to always meet people. I mean, you could just go to your Whole Foods market and meet somebody with a multi-million-dollar business, just in Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. You can go to an event down there and meet people worth up into the 100 millions or even billions, right? And that's one of the reasons I like Miami, as well as in Miami. I mean, I lived there for about a month when I was doing an internship with Grant Cardone. I don't know if you know Grant. Yeah. So I did an internship with Grant Cardone, and I actually lived there for a month. And what I found is, in Miami, I don't know if it was just me back then, but you always kind of feel, when you're in a city like that, you always feel motivated. You always feel energized. The weather's nice. You're ready to wake up, kill it, enjoy your night. You don't necessarily feel like sleeping a lot. And I don't know if that's just a short-term thing, but I feel like when you're in a city like that, you're always more energized, always more motivated, especially if you're in a nice condo or apartment with a nice view. It kind of keeps you in that phase. So that's why Miami. The other reason is, like we already spoke about this, but you university, right? So right now I'm 16. I personally want to go to university. I just don't know if I want to finish it, to be 100% honest. But I think I will end up, 100% I will end up finishing it. And
University.
yeah,
Okay. You want to finish university?
yes, I do.
In Miami.
In Miami. And if I want to go to university, you have a few options for business schools, and it's University of Miami, TCU, and I will never study in California because you're not going to meet the people you're looking to meet, and I can guarantee you that. So that's kind of the options, NYU, places like that. And I'm not that smart, so I'm not going to go to Harvard or any of that. And to be honest, if I ever even did get accepted into Harvard, I would never go. Even if they gave me a full scholarship, I would never go. And that's just the truth. But my University of Miami is closer to the city, so I'm able to go to events. I'm able to have an apartment down there, work and live out of there. There's some good WeWorks around there, so I can have access to multiple offices throughout Miami. Like I said, good network. If I'm going to school, we already mentioned, connections are very important. And in the University of Miami, it's actually known for a lot of people with businesses who are retired and live in Florida to send their kids to the University of Miami, and their kids later on take on their companies or businesses or real estate, etc. And the third reason, to be honest, is the real estate. Florida, you have access. You can drive 4 hours, 5 hours to Tampa. You have access to beautiful properties, beautiful investments, great locations, everything. And I will always have multifamily investments, and that's always going to be how I am.
Good.
Now, following up with that, why Colombia?
Why Colombia right now?
Yes.
I think right now, like we're scaling and everything, and we had to do a lot of hiring, and we have an advisor that helps us with like decisions for our business and everything. And he's actually in Colombia. He works out of the WeWork just like us, and we started hiring in person, right?
Okay.
That's one of the main reasons why Colombia, we're in the same time zone. It's such a nice place to live. Like, so nice to be around like this culture and everything. And we decided to like hire in person. So it makes it a bit harder to leave because the team is here in the office and everything, and the feedback loop is just much quicker. So if we would leave right now, and it's very recent, so it's only been like 3 months max that we started hiring in person. So for us to leave and make it remote, I don't think would be the good option at this moment right now. We saw a lot of growth with having the team in person compared to remote. So we grew very fast with the team in person. And Colombia, I think, I really can't say anything bad about Colombia, honestly. I really like it. The weather's nice, the social life is very good, the girls are insanely hot, and our team's here. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm living here right now.
Do you ever, so you mentioned earlier that you spent a short amount of time after San Francisco and Vegas where you guys were just traveling. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so for someone who has a business, like an online business, and has the freedom to travel, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. So the good thing is like you have location freedom. The bad thing is that the more you travel, the more you have to adapt to that environment. And there's always that adapting phase. So like getting into like that new environment, where's the grocery store, for example, where am I going to work out of, what WeWork am I going to work out from? So there's always that adjusting period, and that adjusting period sometimes could be as long as 2 weeks when you go into a new country, a new city. So it could actually be bad because you're losing focus, you're always traveling, you're thinking of like, oh, where am I going to, for example, do my groceries, where am I going to do this? Mind you, like a lot of these like South American countries, you could do everything online and you can automate your whole literally your whole life. But it's still like you still have to find like you have to get accustomed to the area. So, and it makes you lose focus very fast, right? You have to think about the budget, of like unpacking stuff and stuff. So that's the only downside about having that type of lifestyle. But other than that, for us, San Francisco was very good. Vegas was completely shocked. We did a lot of partying, spent a lot of money. So
Too much
it was
partying?
really,
Too much partying or what?
yeah, like our business really took a dip when we were in Vegas.
Oh,
Towards like month 3, it really took a dip. There was more expenses going out as income. So, and I think that's like, I think the environment of Vegas is kind of like party scene type vibe. And a lot of people just go to Vegas for 3-4 days max. They go to conferences, they go to party for 3-4 days for the weekend, and they leave, right? So like it's a very fast paced like party type of city. So it actually really like it did a lot of bad to us to go to Vegas.
So Simon, I mean, the podcast has been great so far. I think we touched up on a lot of different topics, which I love. Now, my next question is, I would really like to touch down more on young kids and people in their 20s and why people should be involved in business and how people can actually grow in business and any advice you would have to people. I mean, obviously at this point you're 26 years old, and you've made you have a really good net worth, and you're a multimillionaire at this point. So, and you kind of have a lot of freedom as well. So you're kind of living the dream life of what a lot of other teenagers would aspire to live like. So what type of advice or ideas would you have for people that are looking to be in your position in the future?
Yeah. So one thing that it's not really a regret, but I would have done like differently if I was way younger, is honestly, you're doing it perfectly. So you're very young and you're honestly doing it like how it's supposed to be done. The next thing is like if I'm back like my 18-year-old self and I wanted to live this type of lifestyle, I wanted to make a lot of money and I didn't know where to start, I would sit down, I would take a sheet of paper and I would start writing every single idea that I can of how to make money or what businesses that I want to start. So for example, I want to start an agency helping yoga studios. I want to do drop shipping. I want to do crypto. I would write a huge list. I would take that list and I would actually go out and try every single one for a minimum of 90 days. And this is where being young helps because you have so much more time, right?
Yeah.
And in 90 days, it gives you the amount of like focus to actually know if you enjoy it, if you could actually, is there a future in it and stuff like that. So like I would take 90 days and I would like, for example, do the drop shipping store, right?
Okay.
Did I like it? Did I not like it? I liked it. Oh, let's do more. I didn't like it. I would go try something else. And by trying a bunch of different things, you're going to hit one that you like to do and that you're going to be like, this is the one that I'm going to go for first. But you could only know that by trying things out. That's my advice to young people. Make that list and go implement the every single business idea that you have.
And would you consider, I mean, coming from my perspective, like I feel like when a lot of people see the approach that I took in life, they would consider me a little bit insane or crazy, and I get that a lot, it's fine. But would you consider people starting, if they know what they want and if they're ready to pursue their goals, starting at a young age like I did? Because like personally, I would consider very young, like 12 years old is when I first started my first business. And it's been about 4 years, and it's not necessarily where I'm at the moment, like I'm where I want to be at the moment, but I'm definitely doing better than I would have ever expected, to be completely honest. And I would have never even imagined that somebody my age could be doing the things I'm doing and making the money I'm making and owning the businesses I own. And when I share that with people, like they think I'm still crazy, you know, which is still funny.
That happens. But yeah, go finish.
So what would you consider, like, if somebody, let's say another person's 14 years old and they know what they want, they watch a lot of YouTube videos, would you advise them to start a business at an age like that, or would you advise them to educate themselves first and read books and do all that, or would you advise them to just go ahead and learn from experience? Because that's actually something that I was confused with a lot back when I was 12 years old, because I always wanted to just go, like, I started my first business flipping socks on eBay. I'd go to Ross, buy a 6-pack of socks, buy it for $10, I'd sell on eBay for $25. $5 shipping, $10 profit. And I made $1,000 from the age of 12 to 13 doing that. So would you, like let's say somebody's 12 years old and they want to start and they're concerned. They're like, should I be reading books? Should I be doing courses? Or should I just go out there and start and promise myself that no matter how hard I fail, I will never give up?
Yeah, so if you're 12, you obviously have the time advantage on your side, right? So if I was 12 and I knew what I wanted to do, I would take a good amount of time. I'm not sure how long this is. This could take a year. And I think this, there was a podcast with Iman Gadzhi. Iman Gadzhi also started very, very young. And he educated himself. He started reading a bunch of books. He was watching a lot of YouTube videos. He was like trying to get to know, like the type of like business that he wanted to do, right? And I think that like when you're 12, you learn a lot. 13, you start reading books, you start to educate yourself, go on YouTube, speak to different founders if you can on Instagram, if you can connect with them, or Twitter, whatever it is. Then launch your business. The first business that you launch, especially when you're 14 and you're trying to get on sales call, is probably not going to go well, because they're going to look at you, they're going to go, who's this young kid? You're going to get a lot of rejections, right?
Yeah.
That's fine, and I'm sure you experienced this with your own.
I used to do wholesaling, and I think I was like 14, and I do cold calls from my garage. Didn't go well, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, a lot of rejections, especially when you're young, but that's fine.
Exactly, because they can hear it in the voice.
Yeah, I would get into the trenches and everything. Then around the age of like 16, 17, 18, which is like when you're legally allowed to work for someone, I would actually join a startup in your field. A small startup with like founders that you could be very close to learn exactly the way that they're building their company, right? So if you're into like building an agency, you join a startup that's like in the agency space that you want. You do that for 2 years, you're going to learn a whole bunch. They're probably going to throw you a bunch of different directions, a bunch of different goals, like in marketing and operations and this, like in all sorts of things. Yeah. And you're going to learn very well. And then whatever you learn, you could just implement, and guess what? You're probably still 18. Yeah. And guess what? You're still like 18 years old, 19 years old, and you have your whole 20s in front of you, if you want to call it, to like make the millions that you want.
100%. And
advice to younger people.
And I can speak from my experience as well for a second, if you don't mind. I would say if you're at that age, don't jump from thing to thing. Really find something, and once you get a little bit of results, stick to it. Be like, you know what, I'm going to have failures, I'm going to have whatever, but I'm going to learn how to get past those failures. I'm going to learn how to, even if it's not working, I'm going to learn how to make something that doesn't work. I mean, I owned around 10 e-commerce stores, maybe even 15 to be honest, when I was like from the ages of 13, 14, 15 years old. And I can speak from experience that if like whenever you get a failure, you launch a product and it doesn't work, you're like, yo, you know what, I'll search for another product. But in reality, anything you sell can work. It's just about the methods that you use to make it work. So I think people that are that age, or even if you're 20 and you find something that is showing results but not we're going the way you want it to go, keep going. Learn how to make things that don't work. And there's always a way. And I think if you do that for long enough, you're gonna learn how to make every single business you touch, not every single business, but the majority of businesses you touch actually work and succeed for you.
Yeah, there is no magic formula.
Exactly.
Exactly. And there's no shortcut either. There's no shortcut.
It's not a straight line. It's very, very up and sideways and backwards and frontwards, and so that's my advice. And especially when you're young, you have the advantage to try out things. You have time on your side, right? But it's also very hard. I will not lie. It's very hard, and it's very intensive in the amount of stress that you have to undertake. It's how much rejection could you withhold, right? And I'm not just talking rejection with prospects or anything. Rejections in terms of employees leaving, retention rate, clients leaving, stress in terms of finances. Are you going to beat payroll? There's just a whole bunch of things that in a business that has to be done, right? And it could be very stressful.
100%. All right. Well, it's been real. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you, Peter.
I really enjoyed spending the past hour and 45 minutes with you. I think it was really good.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing this podcast come out.
Yeah, good talks, and see you soon, probably in San Diego. No?
Hopefully, yes. Please come down to San Diego, and maybe we can film this podcast in person next time.
That'd be nice. Good idea, yeah.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to follow Simon, go ahead and follow him on Instagram. We'll have
it pop up on the screen right now at Simon Choucroun. And
be sure to follow his social as well. I mean, like he mentioned, this is just the beginning. So I can see you guys growing past the 100 million mark hopefully soon. And you guys are killing it. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.